All right, we have no sound on YouTube. All right, we are opening up the door and going live. I see we're live on YouTube and Rumble and Facebook. So hello to all of you out there, and hello to all of you in here, in the room here with us at dailywithDocZoom.com. If you would like to join us live and you're not already with us, go ahead and do so by going to dailywithDocZoom.com. ZOOM.com. My name is Becca Dukes, and I am excited to be here with you. Wait a minute, where's our special guest going? So you guys may not be able to see all of the cameras, but I can see all the cameras, and I'm glad that I have all of my co-hosts with me to help keep an eye on those things also. But hello also to the KSCO and KOMY and our other syndicated radio stations that are carrying this program and continuing on sharing the message of hope. Hope in being able to take our own hands into taking our health into our own hands through nutrition. So thank you so much for continuing that, Mr. Billy and Mr. MZ. We greatly appreciate it. I know Dr. Wallach loves the fact that we are continuing to reach that audience as well. Well, as the co-hostess of Daily with Doc, I welcome you. This program is meant for educational purposes only. It is not meant to take the place of your primary care physician, and our products do not diagnose, treat, or cure any diseases. The FDA requires us to let you know this. But folks, when you give your body what it needs, intentionally, through supplementation, because our food is void of the nutrients, all the nutrients that we need, your body can do some amazing things. And that's what this program has been put together for, is to share that information that educates people on the importance of intentional supplementation. And it's not just cherry picking this and this for that and that, folks. Every cell within the body is connected. Dr. Wallach, who is the doctor that we host here on Daily with Doc, he is the doc that we are talking about. He has a bachelor's of science in agriculture. He has a doctorate of veterinarian medicine. He also has 3 postdoctorates in pathology. And folks, a pathologist doesn't just cut somebody open and do a visual. They take samples of different parts of the body. They look at them under slides. They do analyses of what minerals are there within that subject and what are not. And they take all of those data points, like millions of data points he's looked at over the years. And he has gone a little bit farther. He has taken what he learned as a veterinarian and has done a correlation when he did the autopsies on the humans and found that there is a direct correlation. And another thing that he found is when something was missing, some of the same diseases were present. Some of the same conditions were present. Some of the same causes of death were present because of those nutritional deficiencies. So with all of his experience and knowledge, and then taking that, because he could not find something that he felt solid in recommending, because what he had available to him was not doing the trick. He put a team together that formulated products that are the solution. At least they were for me and many of my clients, actually almost all of my clients that have taken the products and continue to take the products have found solutions to the things that were keeping them from reaching their optimal health goals. So without further ado, if you were invited to this program by somebody specific, make sure that you get back with them and thank them for taking the time to share this show with you. Because folks, there's so many people telling us that we have to listen to certain people. Well, have you ever thought about taking information and thinking about it? Does it make sense? Does it make sense to take a chemical that has 15 serious side effects for one condition that might be bothering you a little bit? It didn't for me. And when I did the supplementation, I didn't have to worry about any of those. And Dr. Wallach, I have you to thank for that. So thank you, thank you, thank you, Dr. Wallach, for all that you have done. How come that did that? Hold on, hold on.
We're back.
It was one of those things, Ruth Ellen and I were talking about this before, that, you try to spotlight something, and if they unmute or mute or anywhere in the room, it changes the orders of where people are. I just love it. So here you are, Dr. Wallach. Thank you for joining me here on Daily with Doc. Welcome. I know you've got some interesting things to think about and share with us because you've been thinking about them. So what are your thoughts today?
Okay. And you didn't get to the point where I went back to school and became a physician too.
Oh, I got interrupted. That's right. You went back. And why did you do that, Dr. Wallach? Why did you go back to school to become a naturopathic physician and treat people?
Okay, because when I found the first non-human case of cystic fibrosis at one of the monkeys at Yerkes Primate Center, and found that it wasn't a genetic disease, it was a simple nutritional deficiency, and got it all written up to present, and they fired me because they said, well, you must be sniffing glue. Everybody knows that cystic fibrosis is a genetic disease. And when Yerkes Primate Center, a big federal agency, a space program and everything, fires you, you're not going to get a job with anybody else, okay? So I'm out there looking for a job, and I went to, all these events and got a job teaching nutrition at the Naturopathic College up in Portland, Oregon. And I said, well, why don't I just get the degree and become a naturopathic doctor at the same time I'm teaching nutrition? I can see what credit I can get for all my previous courses and everything, and take whatever courses are missing, and become a naturopathic doctor, which I did. And I graduated in 1982. 1982, I became a naturopathic doctor. It was very obvious, my little squeaky voice going up and down the block. I'd see 3 or 4 patients a week or something like that. That wasn't working. So I had to find a way to get the information out. So I said, I have to build an army. This is going to require an army to pull this off here, because it's so dramatically different than everything everybody else is doing. And so that's when I went and learned about home-based businesses and this, that, and the other, and decided I'm going to build an army just like they do in small countries. When there's a war going on, they knock on doors and say, okay, come on, we need you to help fight the enemy. And so that's how I started doing this. And so I'm very, very proud of that thing that in the beginning, if you listen to my original CDs, Dead Doctors Don't Lie, said we have to form an army and get this information out there throughout the world. And this has been working very, very well. Now, the beat goes on. Okay, the beat goes on. It's a never-ending story, as they say. And one of the wonderful stories, again, has to do with my book, The Wallach Revolution. And in the Wallach Revolution, you notice that Pat Boone, okay, the famous singer and actor, wrote the foreword, okay, And Danny Glover, a great comedian and actor, did what they call the afterword, which is the last chapter, both of them telling their stories. Danny Glover had seizures and all that kind of stuff, and we were able to get rid of all that and with the healthy brain and heart pack. And then when it came to let's see here, Pat Boone, guess what? He had arthritis, and he was going to get double knee replacement. He was going to they're talking about amputating legs and all this kind of stuff. And somebody, I don't know who it was, but whoever it is, I have to thank them. They and I think I know who it is. I think it was probably Jonathan Emord, my famous attorney. Okay. At any rate, went to Pat Boone and said, hey, if we can help you. We put him on the same program that we put a guy by the name of Theo Ratliff on. We're coming out with his story here pretty quick because this is like the 20th plus anniversary. He just turned 50 years old, and he had bone-to-bone arthritis in his knees. He's only 24 years old. Cartilage was slipping off his hips. He fractured his shooting arm wrist on his right arm. They took away his $35 million contract and kicked him out and said, there's nothing we can do. You're such a sicko here. We can't have you on the team because we can never depend on you to always be there. Can't pay you that much money. And so his pastor brought him to me. We came up with the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack for him, which is our Healthy Start Pack. And we had to come up with our glucogel, which is our first collagen product, which we added to it. And so it became the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack. And then 3 months later, we came out with our Rebounder sports drink with 100 nutrients in it instead of like Red Bull with only 1 nutrient in it. And it's one of those things where all these things were kind of taking place, and we rebuilt Theo in 6 months, and he went back. He played for 11 years, and he was a top shot blocker for many, many years. He was also one of the top scorers for many, many years. And we just love to tell his story, okay, because it's such a beautiful story. Well, guess what? Pat Boone saw that story. And so our people started telling him about it, and he took our program and we rebuilt his knees and his hips and all that kind of stuff. And he's doing fine. And that was many years ago now. And of course, he said, if there's anything we can ever do for you, let us know. And of course, he wrote the foreword to this book. He wrote the foreword to the book. He tells his story in here about his arthritis and everything like that, what we did for him. Beautiful story. Now, the story gets better because now he's just releasing a new movie. He was born like 4 years before me, almost the same date. Okay.
8.
So, yeah.
I think it was 8 years before you. Oh no, you're right. You're right. You guys are right at 5 years apart.
Yep. And at any rate, he was able to heal his arthritis in his knees and his hips and any place else. We didn't know all the story, but that's what we knew. And now he's playing the part of a retired golf pro, senior golf pro, going around and witnessing the good Lord to all these athletes and visitors who come to watch the golf games and so forth. So we're very, very proud of our relationship with Pat Boone. We cannot thank him enough for writing the foreword to the book. I mean, has everything he does is such a great job. And Rebecca went through and picked out a lot of his music, the stuff that I had listened to for over 50 years, and put them all on one disc or tape or whatever you call it. And I get to listen to that 2 or 3 days out of the week. I just, have a little bit of time when I'm doing paperwork or doing something else, or maybe eating a meal. I'm listening to Pat Boone singing all his songs. Okay. So we cannot thank Pat Boone enough. Now, the same thing on a lesser scale, but on the same issue, okay, is again, our buddy Danny Glover. Okay. He had all his seizures and so forth. We got rid of those. And so he wrote the afterword, the last chapter of the book. So that's why these two guys wrote the last chapter and the foreword. Okay. We cannot thank them enough for sharing their stories and telling how well the longevity programs and products work for them. And we're going to promote Pat Boone's movie like crazy. I haven't seen it yet, but we're going to get a copy real quick here. Becca says she's going to work on that today. We're going to get a copy of that movie, and we're going to watch it, and we're going to show it. And anything that Pat Boone does is phenomenal. So I'm sure it's going to be a great movie. It's already being released. It's not like they're making it now. It's already been made. And so it's being released as we speak. And so I'm so very, very excited about this. And I, again, cannot thank Pat Boone enough for everything he does for humanity, everything he does for this great country, everything he does for the world. And we're just so, so proud to be or have an association with him and have a history with him. Okay, Pat Boone and Danny Glover, two great guys. And but right now at the top of the lantern is Pat Boone, because his new movie is being released as we speak. And I'm sure it'll be a great one, just like all his movies. So with that said, I'll remind everybody, and of course, Rebecca is working as a priority to get this podcast out on our interview we did with Theo. Okay, he just turned 50, and he has, I don't know, I think 3 nice looking young boys, sons, and it's one of those things where he's a good family man. He made a lot of money, and he bought some training facilities in his home state, and he makes it open for free to kids in school who want to learn skills and things for things they want to do in the future, learn skills so they can pass courses and all this kind of stuff. And so he's putting a lot of that money back into the community to make sure his community moves forward with him. I mean, again, a great, beautiful part of the story. So those are, we have a lot of famous people. I'm going to start making a list of all the famous people we have helped with their health issues, and, movie stars, athletes of all kinds, billionaires, race car drivers, great teachers, professors, researchers, and we have some new ones coming on. I can't tell you their names yet because they're just now coming out of the woodwork, and they've been spending months and weeks working on their projects, and they're saying, okay, we're done, we're ready to go. And so we're kind of excited about that, but we can't quite tell you yet what it is, but there's so many new things happening here. The beat goes on. And so just remember, it all comes down to the basics. You cannot get everything you need from your food. You cannot get everything you need from your food because plants do not make minerals, and 2/3 of the essential nutrients are minerals. Nutritional minerals do not occur in a uniform blanket around the crust of the earth. They occur in veins like gold and silver. The only way you can guarantee you're going to get all the nutrition you need is to supplement. Now, people say, well, what did people do a long time ago? Well, they supplemented. They supplemented with wood ashes, okay? Wood ashes and coal ashes were our source of minerals for thousands and thousands of years. They put the wood ashes and coal ashes into the gardens, and the vegetables would suck up the minerals. And again, all the vegetables all over the place didn't have the same amount of minerals. Okay, so they had, some of them had 3 minerals, some had 5 minerals, some had 20 minerals, but that's where people were getting their minerals. And then when we went to electricity at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Monday, September 4th, 1882, and Thomas Edison pulled that switch, within 18 years, by 1900, guess what? We had a problem. No more wood ashes, no more coal ashes, no more minerals. They even had dams blocking the floods, so we didn't have bottomland anymore. And that's why we have all these diseases now. And the only way you can make up for that difference, okay, without burning down a forest every year, adding wood ashes, is to supplement. And that's why people need what we do. Don't forget our seasoned salt from Australia and New Zealand. Don't forget our salt from the, let's see here, the Himalayan mountains. Okay. It's one of those things where the Hunzas, their life expectancy is 120. They're not part of the developed world. Their life expectancy is 120. Many live to be 130, 140, 150. That's because of the minerals that are coming out of the volcanoes. goes back to the old days, you know, the biblical days and pre-biblical days. We're talking about the land flowing with milk and honey. Being a farmer, I said, oh, where were they getting all the milk back then? There was no talk about milk in the Garden of Eden. There was no talk about dairy cows and dairy goats in the Garden of Eden. Where was all that milk and honey stuff coming from? Well, they were talking about streams that looked like milk, because the streams, as they were melting up in the mountains, were grabbing clay and minerals from limestone and everything. And so the suspended, very small mineral particles made that water look like milk, white. And so as this white colored stream water coming down the mountains, they're saying that this was land flowing with milk and honey. It wasn't cow's milk or goat's milk. It was mineral milk. That's why Methuselah lived to be 969. Okay. And so I'm very, very excited about this. And we, of course, have access to the information. And even better than that, we have access to the stuff. So I urge you to avail yourself of everything we know that you need. You pay wholesale prices, you get an auto ship, I will pay the shipping. And if you do this as a home-based business, you get tremendous tax breaks. Okay, you get back thousands of dollars at the end of the year if you run your business, okay, out of your home. You don't have to pay another mortgage in a shopping mall. Run it out of your home, and you get great tax breaks. 25% of your space in your home, 25% deduction off of your taxes for your mortgage and your rent and your utilities and so forth. Okay, so this is a great thing. And of course, when you retire and or die, guess what? Your longevity business goes to your family, your church, or whoever you want to leave it to. You work for a big corporation when you retire or die. Does that job you did for them, making them millions of dollars in over 20 years, when you die or retire, does your family get that job you held? No. I don't say quit that job, keep that job, but start building your longevity business so you have something to leave for your family. Okay, with that said, back to you, Becca.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Wallach. So, folks, there's a lot of great things going on, and it doesn't take being famous to make a difference in your communities. We as individuals have the empowerment, the duty, whatever it takes, whatever words you want to fill in there. If you're here with us in the chat, go ahead. What would be a good word that I could use for that? Put it in the chat. But it's having that ability to be able to take information and share it with others is incredible. Especially those phone calls that you get or those texts that you get throughout the day and night that say, thank you, or this just happened. It hasn't happened in forever, or my blood pressure is now normal. I mean, there's so many different things where nutrition, that's all it took. The medical establishment, Dr. Wallach, has made it so complicated. At least they make it sound like it's complicated. And in all actuality, it's not. It's very simple. You do have to be purposeful. You do have to be intentional. But you eat, so why not just make sure that you're eating the things that are feeding the body and not destroying the body? And I mean, Pat Boone is a great example. He still sings, Dr. Wallach. There's a lot of singers, artists that are in their 30s and 40s that can't anymore because their larynx is crushing or damaged, or they don't have the lung capacity because of lung issues. We're looking at nutritional deficiencies that are causing, or frontal temporal dementia.
To the skull.
All of these things can be lessened as far as occurrence, if not completely removed from your history, your future, both history and future, when taken the nutrients that are giving the body what it needs, but most importantly, in an absorbable format, because not all supplements are created equal. I learned that, Dr. Wallach. It cost a lot of money to learn that lesson. And I threw a lot of things out when I switched over to you, and things worked. It's like felt the difference within days. And that's something that I get also in those texts. So, it's really amazing how I was a farm girl, Dr. Wallach, in a small town where the population grew around it. And then I moved to an even smaller town that was a ghost town, population 5, my family. But I still built a business and I love it. And now I'm here in San Diego and I love conveniences. So folks, you can do it as well. If you have always had a passion and a heart to help people, why not help them through their health as well, helping them find a better health journey? And it's okay to share something and profit. Every time you buy something, you're profiting somebody else. Every time you refer somebody to a store or a product, you're making somebody else money. It's okay for us to help pay our own bills by referring somebody to a product that we know with 100% certainty will help. So get back with the person that shared this program with you and say, hey, let me hear about this business. How can I make this a business around what I'm already doing and work into something that's going to be even greater? Like Dr. Wallach said, I have 401ks that, my family will continue to collect on, but they're nothing like what my business is creating and what I'm able to leave to them. So that's something that as a single, I was a teenage mom, Doc, never dreamed I'd be able to do this for my kids, but I'm doing it. And I love it. So, and I love the fact that I have other people that believed in me because I knew I was smart. I knew I had skills, just believed in me enough to give me the opportunity to use those to help the community as a whole. So I thank you, Dr. Wallach. I thank Longevity. I thank the other leaders within Longevity for allowing me to be here and share this program, and the other coaches for showing up and bringing their clients and customers and potential and future coaches so that they also can feel the community and the love and the togetherness of this family. Well, Dr. Wallach, we have hands that are up, and I have some questions here in the chat. And one is a carryover from yesterday. So yesterday, Dr. Wallach, we had a woman who was in final stage renal failure. And I found out that the damage to her kidneys was because of a prescription. So like what I mentioned before, why take something for one thing when it's causing damage in 12 other locations of the body? This woman has experienced it. My heart goes out to her. But she's been able to go or improve kidney function to stage 3, but it's still chronic kidney disease, Dr. Wallach. Can the kidneys be repaired, or do we just support them to function the best that they possibly can at this moment?
Okay, well, thank you. Okay, for all the kind history and story. Okay, and your beautiful story. And when it comes to repairing the kidneys, it's actually quite simple. We take people that haven't urinated in 10 years. Now you think about that. They haven't urinated in 10 years. They're on dialysis 6 days a week. They spend their life in the dialysis clinics. Okay. We get them on, get them off all the bad foods to stop all the inflammation to the arteries and the tubes and the kidneys and the glomeruli, the filtering units and all that kind of stuff. Get rid of all the bad foods. No fried foods, no processed meats, no oils, no glutens, no wheat, no butter, rye, oats, no sugar, no carbonated drinks. Even the carbonated water needs to go. And then per 100 pounds of body weight, we get them on one healthy brain and heart pack per month. It has 215 nutrients, including the 90 that everybody agrees upon, 16 middle, 16 bottom, 12 minutes to 3 fatty acids. But I like the big hammer in these cases. Okay. So per 100 pounds of body weight, 1 healthy brain and heart pack per month. And then I want her to have 2 bottles a month per 100 pounds of body weight of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. That's 3 words, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 twice a day, okay, minimum. I do that and I only weigh 142 pounds, but if somebody has these kidney issues, I'd have them take 3 times a day of the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. And within 2 weeks' time, now remember, they hadn't urinated in 10 years. In 2 weeks' time, they're urinating. So they dropped the dialysis down from 6 days a week down to 3 days a week. And in 2 more weeks, they're totally off of dialysis because their urine is perfect. Their kidneys are functioning properly. The blood pressures come down into the normal range because usually when you have a kidney issue, the blood pressure is up. Okay. And so don't cold turkey off the blood pressure medication when you start a program, but as the blood pressure drops, you can slowly reduce the medication based on the numbers. Okay. And so I always say, give us 90 days, but usually within 2 to 4 weeks, you're going to see some miraculous benefits. Okay. And so give us 90 days. But then people say, well, how long do I have to stay on these nutrients? Well, as long as you want to live. How long do you put oil in your car? How long do you put gasoline in your car? How long do you put air in your tires? Okay. How long do you keep one eye on that red warning light in the dashboard of your car? Same thing is true for us. Well, doesn't oxygen cause rusting of iron? Yes. But iron doesn't have a circulatory system. Okay. Doesn't have things that neutralize all those bad things that oxygen can do. You require oxygen, okay, every second of every day. Now, here's a scary thing. Your heart beats normally somewhere between 65 and 80 times a minute.
Unless you're exercising. Because when I'm doing an intense exercise, Dr. Wallach, I get up to 145.
Yeah, but that's at the peak of the exercise, okay? I'm talking about just when you're sitting watching TV or resting, okay? At rest or sleeping, okay? So normally, so let's say your range of your heart rate is going to be somewhere between 70 and 120, depending on what's going on. And then, now that's per minute. Actually, you threw away one of my papers where I had calculated.
I did not throw it away.
It's in a pile somewhere. Okay, I'll do it again. I calculated how many times your heart beats if you die at, say, 80 years old. It was like 21,000 years or something like that, your heart beats. Okay, 21,000 years. Because per minute, your heart beats 60 to 80 times a minute. Okay. And so it beats when you're asleep. It beats when you're exercising. It beats when you're eating. It beats when you're driving. It beats, when you're at work. It never stops. You don't want it to stop because then you die. Okay. Now you think about that. Do you think we need to pay attention to what's going on with our heart? Well, yeah. Okay. And that's why we came out with a Healthy Brain and Heart Pack, because your heart is one of the key pieces of machinery your body requires to live a long, healthful life. Okay. And so when you think about it, just think of how many times your heart beats in a 24-hour period, in an hour. If your heart's beating 80 times a minute, okay, multiply that times 60. Do some quick math there. See how many times that beats in an hour.
Well, 80 times 60, that's what, 4,800 4,800 times beats per minute.
Okay, so your heart beats 4,800 times an hour.
Per hour, yes.
Per hour. Now, do you think your heart's worth taking care of? Duh. Okay. You can't just say, well, I'm eating well. I just really get very upset with doctors when they say stuff like that. Oh, don't worry about that. Don't take any vitamins. Don't waste your money on that. Just eat well, you get everything you need. That's why there's no doctors that live to be 100. The average lifespan of the medical doctor in the emergency room in America, they should be living at the top, is 58.7. As reported in the medical journals. I didn't make that up. It's 58.7. That's hardly a testimony to what they know or do. Okay, it's probably because they don't give their heart any nutrients. It's probably just living on colas and hot dogs and waffles for breakfast or oatmeal for breakfast because
It's
they eat that whole
chips
grain.
and Mountain Dew, Dr. Wallach.
Huh? What?
It's chips and Mountain Dew.
Well, there you go. Chips and Mountain Dew. That's what doctors eat. Okay, is potato chips and Mountain Dew. Okay, fried foods.
Not all of them. There are some, Dr. Wallach, that are a little more mindful. They do realize that they need to stay away from that stuff.
So then
but
they
they
eat
still
oatmeal
want
for breakfast
supplement.
instead.
And they're eating oatmeal.
And then
And
they
the
die.
answer to your question, in a year, if you are beating, your heart is beating, which does more than just beat, make a sound. It's pumping blood through the body so that you have good circulation throughout the
24
body.
hours a day.
Fingertips don't die. But at 80 beats per minute in a year, Dr. Wallach, that is 2,522,880,000 beats for the year.
How many billion?
2.5 billion if you want to round it.
Wow. Whew. I get tired just listening to that figure.
That's a lot.
Yeah. Well, yeah.
It's kind of important.
I don't think
So-
I don't think many people have thought about that. How many times my heart beat? You know, a minute, an hour, a year. Now that was just a year, right?
Yeah, that's in a year. That's not a lifetime.
2 billion times a year. Okay, 10 years, that's 20 billion times. And you're not going to treat your heart right? Well, I exercise. Are you supplementing? No. Well, no, I do supplement. I take vitamin C every day. Well, you're only 89 nutrients short.
Yeah. Oh, goodness, Dr. Wallach. Let's go to a hand that we have here with us. And Dawn, I know we didn't get to your question yesterday. Could you raise your hand, please, so we can get to you today? And the first hand that we're going to go to, Dr. Wallach, is Rosemary. Hello, Rosemary. Welcome to Daily with Doc.
Hello.
Hi.
Thank you for taking my call. I have a client, Dr. Wallach, that is getting a frozen shoulder and he won't exercise. So is there anything I could tell him that he might be able to take that would help with that?
Do you have any idea how much he weighs?
About 170, 175, about 6 foot.
Okay. Do you know how old he is?
He's roughly my age, 77, 78.
Okay. All right. Well, the odds are he has other issues going on. If he's got something going on with his shoulder, he may have little blood pressure issues. He may have some blood sugar problems, either sort of pre-diabetes or maybe even reactive hypoglycemia. He may have some joint problems. He may have some bowel problems. You know, he may have irritable bowel syndrome. He may have asthma. You know, he knows what also he's got skin problems. Who knows what he's got, right?
He has had prostate surgery.
Okay. Well, that translates to a doctor had a kid in college and tuition was due.
They opted not to do the chemo though.
Okay. So he needs to get rid of all the bad foods. He needs to get a hold of that book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. 300 pages of safe recipes, safe cooking methods, and it has the good food, bad food list. Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. Then he needs to take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month, full dose thing twice a day. He needs 2 bottles a month of MSM, so he take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. They're going to support and promote maintenance repair of cartilage, ligaments, tendons, connective tissue, disc between the vertebrae, bone makes your bone itself, including the shoulder. Okay. Needs to take the collagen peptides, take a scoop of this morning drink, scoop of the evening drink. I also want him to take our Ultimate Daily Classic tablets, take 3 of those twice a day. That'll support healthy blood pressure, but also I want it to support healthy blood flow into his bones and the bone marrow cavities, including his shoulders and skull and hips and knees and vertebrae and so forth. And so let's go there. And with the history of the prostate issue, we need a little more information before we suggest any other nutrients. But let's start there. And this, as far as the shoulder, if it's a simple osteoporosis thing or a simple arthritis thing, degenerative arthritis, and it's not, arthritis is not an aging thing. You can have all this arthritis when you're a newborn baby, okay? And it has to do with the nutrients that the mother was or was not getting. So let's go that direction, and give us anytime he gets looked at by a doctor, or even just in 2 weeks' time, let us know. Was he seeing any benefit? Okay, is he getting, or if he has really disruptive pain where he's really uncomfortable and it's causing him to be in a dangerous situation of driving or at work, we do have the CM cream. Okay, this will give him, apply that to his shoulder, maybe once every 3 to 4 hours. Okay, and then we also have the Soothe, which is from our Hemp FX division. That'll give you a pain relief for anywhere from 4 to 6 hours. Okay, and so if you're going to be at home, you can use the CM cream. If you're going to be out and about, I would use the Soothe from our Hemp FX. And so we, those two things are available. And it's one of those things where we have programs to take care of these issues, including shoulders. When people complain about the shoulders, that's their major complaint. Okay, but I guarantee there's all this other stuff going on there.
Yeah.
Maybe be on prescription drugs and say, well, yeah, I don't have this, I don't have that anymore because my doctor gave me a prescription for this. But prescriptions don't solve the problem. They just relieve the symptoms.
Well, a real quick thank you. I was having trouble going up and down stairs, and that's getting much better. So I've done a lot of things for me.
Okay, well, thank you for sharing the story. Did you take the Healthy Bone and Joint Pack or the Healthy Brain and Heart Pack? What did you take?
No, but I did take everything you told me to take.
Okay.
But
I
it's-
remember what you told her to take, Dr. Wallach.
Okay.
And it's the osteoporosis of the skull protocol with the brain and heart pack and the MSM and the collagen and the ultimate daily classic. And I think vitamin D3 was also in there, possibly.
Yeah, well, money's an issue, so I didn't take all of it, but it's still getting better. Could have been perfect by now, but I didn't have the money for that.
Well, that's an issue you have to deal with. And so, you do the basics, and then, you just, as things get better, you do your add-on, but you'll save a lot of money by staying away from the bad foods. Bad foods tend to cost.
Oh, I have.
Okay, good. Get rid of those bad foods and you will save a lot of money.
Thank you very much.
Well, thank you for sharing.
Thank you, Rosemary.
Thank you.
So, Dr. Wallach, I was very limited on funds when I started on this program, and I started feeling the difference without doing your full protocol. Not saying that people should not go for the full protocol, but if finances are something to consider, get started on at least the foundation of the 90 essential nutrients. It'll make a world of difference.
And you'll save money by getting rid of the bad foods so you can buy the other stuff.
Well, you're saving money by getting rid of the bad foods so you can buy the additional nutrients. But even that little bit, Dr. Wallach, allowed me to drop some of my pharmaceuticals that were costing a lot of money, that then allowed me to be able to get what I really needed and achieve almost optimal health.
Well,
So, and it's still a work in progress. I love the fact that it's not okay, that's it. That's as good as you're going to get. Things just keep getting better because we're creating cells each and every moment of the day. So make sure that your body has the nutrients that it needs so that it can create healthier and healthier cells. We have a comment here. Oh goodness, we need to hurry. So
Yep.
Irene wants to know, is this normal blood pressure for a male that is 76, 175 pounds and 6 foot? This morning, his blood pressure, this is her husband, was 88/44. That sounds a little bit low.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be people killed for a blood pressure like that. I mean, their blood pressures run 150/90, 150/100, and that's with medication. Okay, and so 88/44.
44.
Over 44? Oh my gosh.
Yep, 88 over 44. I've had as low as 51 and
Mhm.
felt great.
Yeah, yeah, my top number is 65, I think. But then I take a lot of stuff.
So, so definitely something to keep an eye on, I would say. Yeah, especially if you're on pharmaceuticals and you start taking a program like ours where you've got quality supplementation where the body is absorbing and then the cells are getting healthier and healthier, absorbing more. Work with your primary care physician to make adjustments to your pharmaceuticals because you may not even need them anymore.
And
But
what
we
you
do
wanna do,
recommend.
what you want to do is you say, I don't need to come to you anymore because, I'm healing myself. But what I will do, doc, tell the doctor, doc, what I will do is I'll sell you what I'm taking for wholesale prices so you can help yourself. You'll pay wholesale prices. You get on auto ship, I will pay the shipping.
There you go. Perfect. That's a good response. All right, Dr. Wallach, let's go to Phyllis. Phyllis, I know you have a question for a client.
Yes, I sure do, Dr. Wallach. And this is for Kathy in Iowa. And she is 5'8", 200 pounds. And she has had chronically swollen eyelids since she was a child, also chronic sinus issues. I actually have a picture. I will share my screen and show you in just a moment how that looks. Her only other health issues, she had a heart attack years ago. She is on 2 high blood pressure medications. The swelling did get worse a few months back in November. She's seen several doctors and she said she's been treated for infection and irritation. Nothing has helped. So I will go ahead and share my screen and show you her picture. And I know it's a little hard to see, but it's basically her upper lid. You almost can't see her lid up to her eyebrows.
Yeah, she's too far away from the screen. Yeah, I can see with her right eye. Yeah. At least on my screen, it's her right eye.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. She could have osteoporosis of the skull, which squeezes the 12 pairs of cranial nerves. Okay. She could have all kinds of stuff going on there. So you say she weighs 200 pounds. She's 5 foot.
5'8".
5'8". Okay. For a girl who's 5'8", I'd have her weigh maybe 160, maybe. So she's 30, 40 pounds overweight. I'd have her take 1 meal a day or keto shake. Okay, it's a meal replacer. It's not to add to a meal. It comes in strawberry or chocolate. 1 meal a day. Doesn't have to be the same meal. I'd have her take 2 healthy brain and heart packs a month. Full dose everything twice a day. I'd have her take 2 bottles a month of the MSM, so you can take 3 at breakfast, 3 at lunch, 3 at dinner time. I also wanted to have the Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. That's 3 words. Ultimate Daily Classic tablets. Take 3 of those twice a day. That's 2 bottles a month. That's for her high blood pressure. Don't cold turkey off the medication, but as the blood pressure drops, you can slowly reduce the medication. And then because she has had a heart attack, it could be osteoporosis of the skull squeezing the 10th cranial nerve, which causes atrial fibrillation, hyperactivity of the heart. Okay. Also a fast heart rate, tachycardia, slow heart rate, bradycardia. And doctors misinterpret that as a heart issue, but it's the skull squeezing the 10th cranial nerve causing all those issues in the heart. But the high blood pressure is very easy to get rid of, okay, with all this stuff we just talked about. And she'll lose a half a pound to 2 pounds a day with that 1 keto shake per day. Or is it per meal per day?
Okay.
Yeah, per day. Yeah.
I should mention too, she mostly is not eating the bad foods, but she is not off the gluten, wheat, barley, rye, and oats, or buckwheat yet.
Now, if she's eating 1 meal a week with those, it's just gonna take a little bit longer for them to kill her. But if she's eating it once a day, she's gonna be in big trouble. So she needs to get a hold of that book, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods, 300 pages of safe recipes and safe cooking methods, and it has the good food, bad food list printed in there. Okay, Dr. Wallach's Cooking Without the Bad Foods. And but also, let's see here. I would also throw in our occutive. Throw in our occutive. 3 of those twice a day. It's a moderate size bottle, so you're gonna probably go through 2 bottles a month, okay, to pull that off. Okay, the occutive, and I really like the occutive. It makes a big difference. Okay, so do give us a call every couple of weeks. Let us know how she's doing, because everything she has here, we can improve at the very least. And we, need some more information. If she is, it's lab work. We want to know what her blood pressure is. We want to know what her blood sugar is. Does she get, how many times does she wake up at night to urinate? Once, 3 times, 5 times, 10 times? We need to know that information. Okay.
Thank you so much.
Well, you're very welcome. Okay, we got one more time, I think, for one more quick one here, Becca. Okay, man.
Don, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, good. So Don, I don't think we answered all of your questions from yesterday. You want to go ahead and unmute yourself and go ahead and let's finish up with questions
Okay,
that you
can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you for taking my call. I'm a new to tangerine here for the last few months, but I've been taking lemon juice with my orange juice in the morning, the concentrated lemon juice. It seems to make me feel better. Is it okay taking like concentrated lemon juice?
Okay, let's stop there for a minute. How old are you?
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm 75, about 194, 5'10", take a little blood pressure medication, and cholesterol medication. Fairly healthy. My numbers are pretty good. Nothing.
Are you pre-diabetic? Do you have any blood sugar problems?
No. I get a 5.6, 5.7 A1C.
Okay. Oh, good. How many times do you wake up at night to urinate? Once, 3 times, 5 times?
Three, sometimes 4. I feel that pressure at night. That's another thing I wanted to talk to you about. Was,
Okay. Well, here we go. You have osteoporosis of the skull, squeezing the spinal cord. The spinal cord is telling your urinary bladder to urinate.
yes.
Okay, that's what's going on there. You may have other symptoms of osteoporosis of the skull. Has your voice changed? People say, "Look, you got a cold or something? Your voice has changed." Your voice may change. You have trouble
No.
swallowing. You lose your sense of taste. Can you lift your hands above your head? Yes or no? Do you have
Yes.
receding?
Sure.
Oh, good. Do you have receding gums?
No.
Do you have any tinnitus, any ringing in the ears?
No.
Okay. Do you have any balance problems or dizziness?
No.
Okay.
I'm a runner and swimmer and biker. I do a lot of exercise. Pretty active. I still work. And
Okay. Now, exercise is extremely dangerous because when you sweat, is sweat just water?
sure.
No, it's not. Sweat is a soup that contains all your minerals in it.
Oh, sure.
You
That's
need to
true.
lick your arm when you sweat and see how much salt is in your sweat. And if you're just drinking water after you do all this exercise, you're rehydrating, but over time you're slowly reducing all your mineral reserves in your body and you're in trouble. So instead of drinking orange juice and lemon juice together, I would put in the Rebound. Replace that drink with Rebound. Our Rebound has 100 nutrients in it. Lemon juice and orange juice may only have 3 nutrients in it, but a lot of
Well, I've
sugar.
been taking the powder, tangerine, with water, of course, and
Well,
mixing it.
that's fine. That's fine. But you also need, we do have the powder in the Rebound.
Okay.
Okay, there's 100 nutrients in here, 75 minerals. Okay, and I take 2 servings a day of the Rebound.
Okay.
We have the canister with 36 servings. We have the box of the sticks with 30 sticks. We have the cans. There's 12-ounce cans. There's 12 in a case, but the cans are carbonated, so you need to pop them, 2 or 3 of them at night before you go to bed, and put them in the refrigerator. They'll be flat in the morning. All the all the bubbly will be gone.
Okay.
I only weigh 142, but I drink 1 at breakfast, and I will have half of 1 at noon, and then the other half of the second one I'll kind of dribble out through the afternoon, so I'm energizing myself to deal with all the stuff we got to do, and so forth. Okay, but lemon juice and orange juice was great, a long time ago when you had wood ashes. You're getting minerals in your food from wood ashes in your garden and wood ashes in your food. But once we went to electricity, you're not getting enough minerals from orange juice and
Oh, I understand.
okay, so you must supplement. Plants do not make minerals no matter how well you eat. I don't care. I don't care, you know, how many oranges or lemons or let's see here, or limes you eat, you might get some vitamin C and some sugar, but you don't know what else you're getting. Okay, that's why they call the British limeys, because they used to drink so much limes or eat so much limes to get rid of scurvy. Because okay, they didn't know what it was in the limes that got rid of scurvy, but there was something in those limes. So all the British began to eat limes. That's why they call them limeys.
All right. Thank you, Don. I'm glad we were
Thank
able to
you.
get that answered for you. And Dr. Wallach, I know you have to go bye-bye. So thank you so much again for joining us here on Daily with Doc. If I could get my co-hosts up with me, that would be wonderful. Co-hostesses today, except for out on YouTube. So Sportus is doing a great job out there providing information and support for us in YouTube land. So thank you again, everybody. I hope that this information, this moment of education has empowered you to be able to go out and reach somebody, be a light of hope in their life, in giving them options that they're not going to hear anywhere else. So invite them here, invite them to dailywithdoc.com, get signed up for our newsletter. You will get an invitation to the program. We send out once a month, the week previously, the link to the program and a description of the program. So you save those in a special little folder. And then folks, if you're doing the coaching program, all you have to do is search your email for a certain condition. Those emails will come up and point you directly to the program that was shared here on Daily with Doc about what is of interest or concern to you and those you love. I just want to thank my co-hosts, Marilyn Pizarro-Spear and Phyllis Anderson and Ruth Ellen Sanchez, for being on here with me, dedicating and donating their time to serve a greater good, folks. We're here for the greater good. We support a lot of different people, a lot of people that are within our individual immediate organization and the health community as a whole. So get back with the person that shared this program with you. Tell them thank you. Ask them where they would send you to get the products that are mentioned that would be best for you. And if there's nobody to thank, go to dailywithdoc.com. If you would like to speak with a health coach and you have never spoken with anybody about any of the longevity products or Dr. Wallach, somebody hasn't shared Dr. Wallach with you, then please feel free to use that contact us on the website. That will send us an email letting us know that you are interested in getting with a certified holistic health coach to help you pick the products that would be a best fit for you. We do have a call team also standing by, 855-949-3377. So if you would like to speak with somebody on the phone and you've never spoken with anybody about the products or Dr. Wallach, feel free to call that number as well. Again, that's 855-949-3377. That is the Daily with Doc call team. So everybody have a wonderful and terrific weekend. Be empowered to reclaim your health and have a brighter future with less pain. Bye for now.
Record.